within touching distance, and they desperately needed that.
And Nick Bandrak needed it. Confidence player, a prolific goal scorer in England. And he gets on the score sheet in Argentina for England, and it is now 2-1. And these two teams who both have 2 wins and a loss in their campaign. Both teams have every chance in the final quarter. Goal restarts for England. Nearly stolen by Ferrero off the stick of Smith. England in the white shirts, shorts and socks. Argentina in their dark blue with the white and light blue trim.
Right. It felt like England lost their way a little bit in that third quarter. Some of the tempo that we've heard being spoken about needs to be better. And needs to be found and maintained. Post. Oh, it hits at the post.
And Nurse put it in there. Everyone backed away and suddenly realised that it hit the post.
It's just one of those moments that you see it, don't you? And you see that ball coming in and you go, that's going to hit the post if the goalkeeper believes that. And it did. A little bit fortunate, Argentina. England now can get on the front foot, create some tempo, good individual skills.
Turner, who was a player with those skills, made his first caps in 2017 yesterday. Diego Barbas has seen something. I'm not sure what.
So this is about the number of players on the pitch. And if the match official has allowed the green card player back onto the pitch, then it's okay. So she's nodding that it was her. So there is no penalty. So Albury is sitting there. They didn't come on themselves, England, so they're not going to be penalised. It was a match official issue.
A lot of not us on our sound effects. Albury stayed on the sidelines. Also made his debut in 2017 and was back coaching at Cambridge City, where he started his hockey playing career.
Well, I reckon Albury's got, what, a minute to go, basically, because he got sent to, there was, 3 seconds left on the clock when the corner was given. That's when he got the green card. So we're a minute into this, so there's no way he should have been back in.
Bit of a bully
in the game. Bring back the bully. No, please don't. Just the way to restart it. And even as you see there, a single touch of the sticks and then just chucking the ball back with the sportsmanship.
Monya.
Whilst the graphic isn't up, I would imagine that England will be back to full quota of players in about 20 seconds, you would guess, given when Albury got sent off in the first instance.
Down the line from Napote. Fiddly again. This time from Bagayo. Eyes down. He goes into the Ferrero style. And still, conversations. Zach Jones, that's 2 minutes and 5 was his comment. Well, England need to be careful not to allow this to overspill. De La Torre. Smith loses possession. Bagayo into the circle, lifts it across. It was dangerous in terms of for the English defence. Ferreira was stalking, and it's England ball out.
It's all about focus. It's all the cliches now, Dad. Control the controllables. Stay focused. Everything you do, you control what you can. The official rules, etc. What's going on the sidelines, completely irrelevant. For either team, Argentina don't need to ask an appeal for anything because when they have the ball, they play so well. Their one-on-one skills are just absolutely exceptional.
Ignacio Napote, just a comment on him there, he cut off a very important ball moments ago on the reverse stick. Argentina are building steadily. You said about controlling the controllables, it's something this Argentinian team who came into the weekend 1 place above England in the world rankings. Do very well. Nurse has enjoyed a lot of good time on the ball today. Typical commentators curse as I say that. Well, Tim Nurse gives the ball away.
I've got potential as Nurse, but I think it's just the pass completion isn't quite there. So it's either the pace on the ball or the choice of pass. It's in the right places and sees the right pass, but it's just not quite end-to-end on them.
De Torre, 29 years of age, loses possession to Gaul.
Now, England have got to just start thinking about the tempo that they're creating. When they play at a faster tempo, when they force a tempo, then they do get better outcomes. They ask Argentina questions. They can't just allow this game to peter out by letting Argentina get on the ball, create more forward momentum themselves.
A rare mistouch from James Albury. G's player just glanced back at where the pass came from. Ward, another OG's player, is the highest player forward. De Torre does well, guarding the ball as Nurse came across.
England now can step out. Ward in that situation needs a player to come up behind him. Sanford in that instance, I think, was just a little bit late as he came forward. As soon as Ward goes, what is the catalyst for your press? As soon as that catalyst, if that catalyst is a centre forward making the choice, you've got to back them up.
Smith just steadied himself then, tried to pop it inside of Bagallo. Bagallo again is there and is hard in defence. Smith still going into the circle, gets forced out, then forced it himself. It's lifted into the chest of a falling Reece Smith.
It was high, but it just looked comical because Reece Smith almost threw himself face first at it. Good transfer.
Salisbury reversed it, kept it incredibly flat. Duncan Scott gets a toe on the ball. The Argentinian crowd, I would say, are a touch flat at the moment.
It doesn't surprise me because England they've played well. They've just not been able to convert their chances in the circle, and Argentina are so dangerous. Even here, you look at it and you would not put money on Argentina getting into the English circle, even when it's 2-on-3.
Pereira don't get in that time. Toscani, he goes 3D.
England have got to give the ball back because if they just let the ball run away, it's their time. I appreciate you don't want to give the opponent an advantage, but you've still got to recognise that the clock is ticking down. They're not 5 yards. They're nowhere near 5 yards apart. That is a simple rule. Wow,
it was confusion from the Argentinian players.
They confused themselves.
Guerrero ran away. Toscani came into the space. It was messy at best.
Well, here we see Reece Smith just going down. He'd fallen over, was going for the tackle, then the ball's hit him in the chest. There's no issue about it being dangerous because of the height.
Sanford. Aubrey this time, his first touch is perfect. He spins and eliminates. Good touch from Condon, and then not as he loses possession. Toscani searching down the left-hand side. Creed will want to watch this out and just utilises the advantage he had over the chasing player to run the ball out of play.
Well, there's the difference for Creed between getting yourself between player and ball and using your size to create a running block, which you're allowed to do, and getting the angles a little bit wrong, creating the contact, which you're not allowed to do, that you got penalised for earlier.
Sanford, good ball pace. Creed tries to cut around Ferrero. How narrow the Argentinian pair are up front there. And there really is pressure on England here. And they turn over the ball. Thomas Habib then hands it back to Aubrey. It's Charity Sunday.
Well, England need to recognise, in my opinion, that Argentina want to play down their left-hand side almost without question, and therefore they shift it. They've got to get it across the pitch, through the central channel and out to their own left-hand side when they win it back off Argentina.
43 more completed passes for England, but it's what you do with those passes that count. And there it breaks down for Banjarak, and that was exactly the point I was making. And Argentina have made more from possession. De La Torre, lovely pass on the reverse. The
What a
spin out
touch.
from
What a
Tarazona.
touch. Absolutely beautiful.
This is a team who we said last week surprised Belgium. And granted, they're playing an England team with a lot of fresh faces, a lot of players out. Ames, Roper, Ansel, as I mentioned earlier, Zach Wallace and more. But they are looking exceptional at times today. And they rattled Belgium a bit last week, the world and Olympic champions. Condon gets the call, gets the whistle, and gets on the front foot and then just hands it away. Martinez. Palermo, he's got support for Toscani. Instead, he sends that one into orbit somewhere over the top left-hand side of the goal. You can't say it wasn't powerful.
Great counter-attack again. Lovely little slide ball. Then he gets under that. He's leaning backwards, his right shoulder's down towards the turf as he goes through it. There's enough on it, but his body shape's just a little bit off.
Scott goes through. Oh, that was not clean at all from Monya. Condon, be surprised if the umpires don't have a word when this breaks down. Smith. Lovely little body swerve from Smith, but he loses possession. And immediately, it's up in the air. Albury accidentally felling Valero like a tree, almost.
It was the contact. Aubrey's actually pulled out of that. Ferro's gone down because there is contact, so be it. But Aubrey's pulled out because he knows that he can't get in there, and it's just a brush across his back, leg to leg, and then stick.
Gaio deep for Argentina. Oh, Ward nearly. There's a course and a face mask due to taking a ball to the eye in the World Cup qualifiers in London in 2019 against Malaysia. Flick hit him as he was on the back post or running in towards the back post, and he had horrendous surgery following that. He's done miraculously to make it back, losing the sight in the left eye. It's the majority of it. Scott. Park around Ferrero, who just acted as a screen, stopping Nick Park getting forward. England have only got 3:35 left to get a goal back. Of course, if they do take it to a draw, both teams get a point, and it goes to a shootout. The shootout winner will get an added bonus point. Cecilio. That's an excellent tackle indeed from David Goodfield, who has been working so hard today. Nice touch from him then as well. Continues into the circle. Shining star for England today. Ward comes across to support. Ward has to be left alone. And that from Cecilio. Clean, the umpires say.
Well, I thought Cecilio was static there, I have to say. And therefore Ward ran into him and bounced. I didn't think there was anything wrong with what Cecilio did, so the umpire's right on top of it, making the right call.
Nico Cecilio, once more, is proving how much he is improving in international hockey. Cornerstone of this Argentinian defence. Plays for Royal Darren Club in Belgium. Played formerly for Terengganu in Malaysia. Monya reaches, stolen off him. Goal quickly, has to respond to the whistle. England are running out of time. Argentina As Payne makes way, England have an extra outfield player, but they do not have a goalkeeper. We saw France do this to their detriment against Germany yesterday. As the Germans scored a fourth late on, Fred Soye, his face said it all. 2-1 Argentina lead. England with more possession in this fourth quarter. Shanford, they need to be direct here. Argentina protecting the line to goal, sitting deep.
They've got too many players, England. They have to change this dynamic. You have 4 players in shot with Argentina sitting behind you. You can't do that at this stage of the game if you've thrown your goal, taken your goalkeeper off. You've got to push an extra player, go to a back 3.
Very good from Park, who then goes to ground. Good field. Tries to find a boot. Casella, look at how fast Argentina break. Kinan, that was exceptional from him. 1 minute 14, Ollie Payne's face paints a picture of misery. The aerial ball searching over the top of the 2 England players. Nurse eventually moves it on to Turner. Turner direct. Banjarak, buoyed by that earlier goal, it pops up with Kinan, who doesn't retreat, Gall into the circle. Pulls it back, and Kinan will hold the ball in the bottom left-hand circle as Argentina look.
They must practice this as a skill consistently. Sam Ward in here, we see that that's not a foul in the circle. Cecilio is absolutely within his rights to be there.
And now, with no pain at home, Martinez. Oh, what a finish! Sublime from Lucas Martinez. His second seals the game for Argentina. That was not an easy finish, goalkeeper or not. Yes, there was an empty net, but the defender was retreating. Lucas Martinez does not care. He rockets the ball onto the top of the backboard and into the top corner.
What an overhead that is. England just get caught ball watching a little bit. They don't see the long run as it comes down the pitch from Lucas Martinez. The chase defender is late to start with, didn't see it early enough, Tim Nurse. But England, as soon as that overhead was thrown, they did have to keep 1 player deep. High-risk strategy, and they've come unstuck.
4 goals in the last Pro League for Martinez, 2 today. Pops up onto Cecilio. Casella is green carded right at the death, which is why he's having a sit down, the captain. But it doesn't matter. Lucas Martinez late goal, extending Argentina to another win. They take maximum points from the weekend after 1 win and 1 loss against Belgium last weekend. Ollie Payne needs to be careful. He's absolutely fuming at the umpires. Cellini doesn't score. Argentina take a very good win. Thomas Santiago played very well indeed. Argentina hold on and then extend away for a 3-1 win against England here in Buenos Aires. Well, Simon, very briefly, your thoughts on a fiery end to the match?
It was a great game, the whole thing. Really enjoyed it, end to end. Both teams played better than they played yesterday. Argentina 1-on-1. Oh,